Welcome back to episode 76 of the Disorganized Wizard Club podcast. My name is Alex. I'm here as always with Adam.
Hello.
And Cam.
Hey.
And we're a group of Ottawa-based players that play just about anything and everything we can qualify for. We talk about decks, tournament stories, just about anything to help you and ourselves get better at Magic.
Hopefully.
Welcome back.
Hey, thanks, man.
Adam back from China this week.
Yeah, you said here as always, but he wasn't here last week.
That's correct.
It's just
You're the third of the 12 force man.
It's engraved in my brain, so I just kind of go and don't really think about what I say anymore.
Just the auto intro.
Yeah.
It's not pre-recorded, but it seems like it might be. It's live, hot off the press every time.
Yeah.
Just that personal touch.
Yeah.
Do things different here.
Yeah. I listened to that episode actually while I was in China because I was just like bored one night in my hotel room. And like for some reason the internet, that worked. Like, you know, because the firewall there is strict at times.
I mean, if that's your excuse, we would know that it's actually that DWC is more entertaining than all of China.
All right, well played. No, I was just very jet lagged and exhausted and a little tuckered out. So I gave it a listen while I was just typing up my notes before I went to bed from work stuff. But yeah, no, it's good. Like Ryan had some really good advice about kind of like not just combo, but like what he also considers combo. Like I enjoyed that he pretty much referred to a lot of mono red slide decks as combo decks as well. Like he snuck that in there. He's like, or mono red, which I think he sees as a similar sort of deck, like just inferior versions basically of combo decks. But he still enjoys them, you know, like, but I think like his insight was really good, especially I like that, you know, when he was talking about, you know, people always think like there's not interaction, right? Like when you're playing against Storm, like no interaction, like it's got goldfished, like they just storm me out, right? It's like, well, no, it's like a lot more complicated, and there is a lot of interaction going on, and like decisions that have to be made on both sides. And so I thought it was a really insightful episode, and I thought he had a really good take on what you have to do to play those decks successfully. It's probably like quite useful for a lot of listeners.
Yeah, I think so for sure.
It's good to hear. So it was a sweet episode. Made me homesick, you know.
How was China overall? You have a good time?
Yeah, I did. I had a lot of fun, but the first 40 hours were quite frustrating. So I was there for like 10 days or something?
Yeah.
No, like 8 or 9. I don't know.
Something like that.
Something like that. But I like the first 40 hours involved flying where I wrecked myself. That blowout from last week, yeah. I mean, I took a check bag because I just wasn't thinking, and like I wanted to bring a bunch of stuff because of work stuff. Like I wanted to have like long sleeve shirts to wear while I was there, like, you know, representing a company and wanted to look professional. And then I also wanted to bring like shorts and flip flops and t-shirts because it was 26 to 32 degrees, tropical every day, and hot and humid. But it turned out the weather was just perfect the whole time anyway. But yeah. So I brought a suitcase like an idiot, and there was some baggage problems in my transfer at Beijing. So I got stuck in Beijing for the night, and like they put me up in a hotel. It's not a big deal, but it was like, yeah, the flight there, the worst was like, so there's like, you know, 3 rows of seats, and I got stuck behind like a 15-year-old kid who was basically just like having a panic attack the entire 14-hour flight.
Ugh.
And just like yelling and making noise and intermittently just puking into his like bag, you know, they give you.
Yeah.
The whole flight, like just 14 hours straight, and I'm just stuck beside it, and I'm looking around like desperately kind of be like, can I move? But like the flight is at full, like full. And I'm like, like, and then I land in Beijing, you know, like Toronto to Beijing, it was like 14 hours. And then my luggage, like they can't just, even though my flight, I'm going to Haikou, they can't just like send my suitcase and then I go through customs there. I have to go through customs in Beijing, pick up my suitcase, then enter security and load my bag again and check in again. And like, I don't have enough time. By the time I get my bag, I have like 20 minutes to go to another terminal, which requires a shuttle. I get there like 20 minutes before the flight's leaving, and they're just like, no, like you're too late to check in. And I'm like, ugh, you know, like, come on, man. Like, I can make it through security in that time. There's like no one here. They're like, no, like, and you have a bag. There's no way. Like,
yeah.
And so,
damn.
Yeah, that was rough. But once all that was sorted, I was sweet. Like, you know, like all the meals were catered at the event kind of thing. So, like, just all you can eat, like, sweet Chinese food every day.
You ate pretty good.
Oh, yeah. The hotel was crazy, too. It's like an all you can eat breakfast sort of thing. And it was like all like North American food, but also Chinese food. So I was eating like Shanghai noodles for breakfast,
Nice.
you know, with like an omelet. Like at one point, they didn't have omelets. I was just sitting eating by myself, and it was like the third or fourth day I was there. And they had to make your own like pho station too. You could just go up and put like beef balls and like noodle, all this stuff in a bowl and take it to this guy, and he'd like dunk it in and boil it all for you, and then like put broth in and give it back to you like for breakfast. Dude, it was wild.
Jeez.
Yeah. And so one day I was sitting eating breakfast, and the guy that did that and like was the chef there just brought out an omelet for me and put it in front of me on a plate without saying anything. Like I didn't ask for it. Like no one else got them, but I think he was like this white boy, like better get him an omelet. Like, you know, it was sweet. I was like, nice. Like,
That's
I
hilarious.
eat a lot of baozi for breakfast, you know, like, yeah. It was, I was feeling pretty good. Like, I remember on the third day, like, Phil messaged me, like, what'd you have for breakfast today? He's like, I am about it. And I was like, nothing, man. Just like some coffee and, you know, like a couple small things. And he's like, what? Why? And I'm like, did you read what I ate yesterday for breakfast? Like, yeah. I'm like, I'm still like painfully full, and I ate lunch and supper that day still. Like the amount of food I ate the one day was like, I ate like fish eyes and like, or like a fish head and stuff for breakfast, like pho, like
Jeez.
all these noodles. Like they had banana bread randomly, so I ate like 5 pieces of that. Like they just had unlimited bacon. So yeah, I mean, for like not being, I wasn't at a resort, it was just a hotel, but
Yeah.
the island I was staying at is like Hainan province, which is like off of mainland China. It's near Vietnam, sort of, I guess. Yeah, it was like gorgeous weather, and it's sort of like a newer developed area in China. So yeah, it was sweet, but I was really busy with work, so it's kind of like go to the venue at 10 a.m. and then get home at 11 p.m. and then go to bed
Yeah.
until the last night where I hung out with the Russians from HLTV and some of the other people from Star Ladder, and that was a time. It made my flight home pretty miserable.
I can imagine.
I was on an hour of sleep, extremely tired.
We'll go with tired.
Feeling quite rough. Like I don't normally like smoke, but like I was just darting and drinking and like just yeah, dude, it's like $1, you know, like for a bag, and like beers are 30 cents. Like it's
Okay.
yeah, family show. Yeah,
Fair enough. All right. Well, let's talk a little bit about Magic then.
Yeah, all right, fine.
Last week that was, we had a GP Phoenix Modern.
Well, Cam and I also qualified for an RPTQ while I was in China.
Yeah, we did that last week.
Yeah, I want to talk
While
about
you were
that.
in China, we both qualified somehow.
You want to talk about how that happened?
Just pure magic skill.
Uh-huh.
Literal magic.
I woke up and was notified that I had crumpled an event in my sleep.
Mm-hmm.
I always told people that I could beat them in my sleep.
GG easy.
So what actually happened is our friend Benson, who works at the Wizards Tower, where if you need any singles, hit him up. wizardtower.com, free shipping in Canada. All your single needs. Dominaria pre-release is coming up here April 21st, I think. Sign up for those. Maybe not yet, but at some point you can pre-register.
Yeah, come do the Iron Man with Cam, who's for sure doing it.
Yeah.
And then I'll register for all of them and play one and go home tired. Which is what I did last time.
Yeah.
They also, this Saturday, have a Modern Open
Oh, I might
qualifier.
not be able to Iron Man this one.
Oh, yeah, that's tomorrow, eh?
I have a final exam on the 24th.
How rip.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
The whole point of being a PhD student, by the way, is that you don't have to do exams anymore.
Yeah, but I have coursework now because I started a new degree and it requires some number of courses.
Yeah, I remember having to do that too.
Yeah.
It's just the first year. Then you spend the next 4 years in bitter loneliness. Don't worry. No exams. Just destitute loneliness and bitterness.
Yeah. Anyway,
Trust.
pre-release is coming up.
Things take a
Yeah.
dark turn around here.
So Benson, our friend, won a sealed PPTQ, and these are the ones feeding into the RPTQs for the 25th anniversary set. Not Magic 25. That's like the master set they just released. But like their anniversary set, the next core set.
Which is the Team Pro Tour.
Right, it's the Team Pro Tour. So the RPTQ is also a team event. So any one person who qualifies, because the pre-PPTQs are single player events, they get to invite a team to go play with them. So Adam and I got invited to be Benson's team.
Right on.
So we're now going to the RPTQ.
Yeah,
Nice.
I landed in Toronto and like finally turned on my phone and I saw a message like, "Hey, do you want to play an RPTQ?" I was like, "What the Sure.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Pretty sweet. Like it's Dominaria standard, so we have no idea, but
Dominaria Team Unified standard.
Yeah, we'll get
it's gonna
to
be
talking
wild.
about that, yeah. It's gonna be nuts.
Sounds like fun.
Yeah.
Hope you have your Scarab Gods ready and your
Well,
Hazrets.
one of us will, and one of us will.
Yeah.
I mean, Benson's gonna be playing Hazard, not me.
Yeah.
That guy is good at playing Smork decks.
Yeah, he's been playing Red in Standard and Burn in Modern.
Yeah, he just like he likes playing very aggressive decks.
Yeah, he probably played some aggro deck at the PPTQE one.
Plays Mardu like
Yeah.
as well in standard. Yeah, yeah. No, he's like been sharpening his sword, on that aggro life.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't know. Never attacked in my life. I'm a pacifist. I just sit there, let you kill yourself.
Yeah. Make a wall of defenses and back up.
Yeah.
Russian strats.
Build a wall.
All right. So GP Phoenix Modern, won by humans, won by a human.
Playing
Playing
humans.
humans.
Yeah.
What? So how
It was won by an ocelot.
I mean, hey, you can't discredit that some high profile, quote unquote, celebrities are lizard people.
True.
And maybe they play Magic.
True.
So a pretty diverse
Whoa.
top 8 like we're used to seeing.
Is that an Emrakul the Promised End? No, go up. Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's what I'm talking about. I was saying people should play this card in Tron.
I did.
saw someone cast
I
it
did
on
when
stream.
it
Their
got printed for
opponent
the
just
first
conceded.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. It's great.
Sorry, it's kind of like we were talking about humans winning it. We were looking through the deck list and I saw Emrakul the Promised End. I was talking about this with Pete. Like, is there a format more punishing where you cast Emrakul the Promised End and you're like, they can't win? Like, if you take their turn, if you take someone's turn in Modern, it's got to be the most punishing format, right? Because like Standard, people have won through it. Legacy, like, things are not as devastating. But in Modern, what's going to happen if someone takes your turn? They're going to cast Scapeshift and sacrifice all your lands and find nothing.
Yeah, they're going to crack a fetch and fail to find.
They're going to
yeah, things
you
will go wrong.
dump all the removal. If they're a Jund deck, they're just going to dump their hand. Like, it's not these themselves. Like,
Yeah.
like, I'll
See, well, so the Tron deck that top 8'd this event is playing one copy of Emrakul the Promised End. And basically, why you haven't really seen Tron playing this card at all is because Ulamog is generally just as lights out. Like, they fill the same slot. You most of the time you don't need both. This guy's playing both, 2 copies of Ulamog, 1 copy of Emrakul, but like generally the Ulamog is just good enough. But I mean, I wouldn't fault anyone for playing it. It's sweet.
Yeah, you got to have some fun sometimes.
Is there a matchup where Ulamog isn't enough?
Is there a matchup where Ulamog isn't enough?
And that the effect that Emrakul the Promised End gives you is better? It will get you out of a situation that perhaps Ulamog... I'm trying to think.
I
Like,
feel like maybe like blue-white control, if you got spreading seized early and they have so many lands that like a double stone rain is not super relevant. And if they can counter the Ulamog itself, then like you don't have any closing power.
right, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess you could just blow all their spells, like, and
Yeah.
ranch their hand, everything with Promised End. Yeah, okay.
Right. And like Emrakul has protection from instants, right? So like if it doesn't get countered, then what do they do? Like they can't path it. They can't. What do they do?
Right. Yeah, they can path the Ulamog. Maybe that's why path, right?
Maybe. It's possible. I don't know. I haven't played enough with it, but it's definitely sweet.
If you're listening and you play some Promised Ends, let us know, because I'm curious, like, what matchups. I mean, I saw that in 30th place of this GP, taking turns was there. That's probably pretty good against taking turns.
Yeah, it was Ben Sack was playing it. Is he the guy that finished 30th?
I'm just kidding. It's terrible. What are you going to do? Cast them taking more turns? Actually, no, it's not. Because his target player on Time Warp takes more turns.
Oh yeah, so you can make them give you turns.
Yeah.
Wait, but if you're controlling their turn and then you make them take a turn, you don't get that turn, do you?
No.
But you make it.
But you
so
can
when
make it so
comes
you
back,
get it, right.
Yeah, it comes back to you. You just like go a couple turns in a row. But I'm saying if the turn comes back to you, you're just
Man, that'd be hard to keep track of. 'cause,
I
like,
can't. I'm already.
You'd pass, you take their turn, they make you take a turn, then they would have one, but now you do. So you.
I think it stacks in order. It's next turn. So like.
Yeah, so then it
Does
goes
it-
back to you before, and you can cast
They get-
another Emrakul.
Yeah. If they're then they play Cryptic Command, so you could bounce. Oh no, it's
No, it's
protection from
protection
instance.
from
Damn. Just get them. Just keep casting Emrakul from this. God,
Who's taking turns now?
never lucky. Big turn a minute ago.
Jeez. Okay, but yeah, we had 8 different decks in this top 8.
Just a fun and
Classic
diverse
modern.
format.
Jund, Nightfall, Ironworks combo, Bring to Light, Scapeshift. We haven't seen that in a while.
That's a shocker.
Tron, Green and Taxes, Red Green Eldrazi, and Humans.
That red green Eldrazi deck is like that. That's a shocker too. That's like out of left field because that deck's a new one on the scene.
No, it top. I'm like almost positive it top 8 at a GP in recent memory.
I mean, with
Almost
Bloodbraid
positive.
Elf.
Without Bloodbraid Elf.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
Okay.
Was it unexpected?
yeah, people
though?
have played like the banned version of these decks, but like, yeah, just tossing Bloodbraid into this red green stompy Eldrazi deck is interesting. It's gonna feel weird when you hit Ancient Stirrings, but probably still fine.
No, they're not playing the Tron lands.
No.
I see.
No, it's just Red Green.
So it's just a red green deck with Thought Knot and Smasher
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
man.
and Eldrazi
and Matter
Obligator
Reshaper.
and an Endbringer.
Ooh,
Yeah, well,
man, Eldrazi Obligator
has-
seems medium.
it has the mini
It steals things, man.
wannabe
Yeah, that's why I said
Bloodbraid
medium.
Elf. It has Matter Reshaper.
Yeah.
Bloodbraid Elf's colorless cousin.
I don't know. I think
Left
the
my
deck's
blood
cool.
braids out in the sun.
But yeah, Humans won this tournament, which is weird. We're actually talking about this last week. How we thought Humans had kind of lost some footing in the metagame because of Jund,
I remember.
and then
And then it
Humans
beat
comes
Jund in the
around
finals.
and
It-
beats Jund in the finals.
It
the
beat
next
Jund in the
weekend.
finals, but they were ugly games. It was like a nut draw from Humans game 1, where turn 3 he attacked for like 14. Then game 2, Humans did nothing and died, and then game 3, Jund never got double red and died. So
Yeah, he died with an Anger of the Gods in hand.
Yeah.
Then
I mean,
had
to the
double
human
red.
player's credit, he kite sail freebooted the Jund player and had his choice of taking a bolt or the Anger of the Gods, and he took the bolt.
Well, yeah, you have
presumably-
to. Otherwise, he just
Otherwise
otherwise
he
the
gets back-
freebooter and
right.
gets it back anyway.
Yeah, presumably thinking like he's not going to hit. Yeah, that too. But like he had a Thalia, so it would have been like 2 or 3 turns later that he could have angered him.
Okay,
But yeah, then the Jund player just never hit his double red and died.
rip. Yeah, I feel like, and maybe I'm wrong here, but I feel like the Jund matchup is still good.
Maybe.
Is still good
I don't know.
or is no good?
I
Or
haven't
sorry,
played
like
it.
Jund has a good matchup. Sorry. against
Yeah,
humans.
their favorite.
Oh
against
yeah,
humans.
for sure.
That's
Yeah.
what I mean. Like,
Yeah.
But there was a lot of humans throughout this top 32. Not only did it win, like
Yeah.
I think there's 6 or 7 in the top 32, which is a lot for modern. Like in a format where you see Bring to Light, Scapeshift in the top 8.
Yeah, I think this is just another classic example of it's impossible to metagame in modern, and any deck could be good at any weekend.
There's a Bring to Light, Scapeshift deck in the top.
Yeah,
Although, like 4 of 8 of these decks either feature Bloodbraid Elf or Jace, right? Maybe that's why like the more controlling Scapeshift decks that have been dead, it feels like, for almost 2 years, right? Like everyone was just playing Titan Shift.
Yeah.
That was almost like that deck was so dominant almost like 8 or 9 months ago. It felt like that was the best deck because
Yeah,
it beat up
exactly.
on Death Shadow.
Yep.
But now you don't even see it. I think there was 1 copy in the top 32, but the controlling versions had been long dead, and now you see a return, and maybe it's Jace, right? Like it gives them some.
I mean it's only playing 2 copies.
Yeah, but that's a deck that it's got Cryptic Command and stuff too. It's gonna find it. It thins out.
Has Bring to Light as well. It's also a Jace.
Can't find Jaces.
Can't find Jaces.
I think you can't get planeswalkers.
You can't get
Damn.
Planeswalkers.
Wow, that card sucks.
or enchantments. You can't get enchantments. There's a list of things you can get.
Man, that card sucks.
Yeah, I know. If it got, I mean, it costs 5. You should be able to get a Planeswalker.
Yeah, jeez.
I got Rhinoed off of Bring to Light at some GP.
Oh yeah, yeah, that was the thing.
I thought
Remember
it was
Joe
Batman.
Lissette? Joe Lissette was playing that.
Oh yeah, was he?
Oh yeah, like he played it at every GP. Like he played it at like 2 or 3 Pro Tours or something. Like he was just obsessed with playing this, and he played SCGs like that whole year. He was just playing this like 5-color Bring to Light Siege Rhino deck with like what else was in that format? I don't even know.
That seems horrible.
It's
Why play
crackling
5-color Rhino
dooms.
when you can just play 3-color Rhino?
No, it's
Or
4-color.
4-color. You play 4-color Rhino for
Come
sure.
on,
Yeah,
bro.
Mardu Green.
4-color Rhino
That
for
format
sure.
was only your
Yeah, he just
4-color mana
added
bases
blue.
were as good
They were
or
very
better
good,
than
yes.
3-color mana
Yeah,
bases.
he just added blue because, like, well, Who knows?
Yeah.
Like, I actually don't remember, apart from the Brink play, what else was in his deck. So I don't know.
I mean, there was a while where people were casting Rhinos and Stubborn Denials. That was hype.
Yeah, that was probably why. You probably just had Stubborn Denial. Just kidding you.
Yeah. I played that deck for a bit.
We need to see more Siege Rhino in Modern, in my humble opinion.
Yeah, we're back in the land of 4-drops.
Right? You can play 4-drops again in Modern.
Yeah.
Let's see some more Siege Rhinos.
Mm-hmm. Blocks these dumb elves.
Yeah.
We were also talking about Kalidas. Where'd he go?
That card sucks, man.
No, that card was good in its time in Modern because like Dredge was a deck.
Yeah, it's not anymore though.
Correct. No, it
Dunks on humans.
top 16 this tournament.
Oh wow. That's
Or
a
top. No, top. It was 23rd actually. Zach Elsek. I remember seeing it. Yeah, I was like, oh, someone.
All right.
Dredge.
Follow this logic, Stelly.
Okay.
You just said that this tournament shows that it's impossible to metagame in Modern because anything could be good at any time.
Well,
and we say this
anything
No,
asterisk.
Let me finish. And we say this because every time we look at a top 8 from a Modern event, we're like, wow, that deck came out of nowhere. That was kind of unexpected. So because of the fact that you think Dredge isn't good right now,
It's gonna win the- it's gonna win the
show
next
up.
GP.
It's going to top 8 the next GP, and you'll be like, wow, I thought Dredge was gone. So everyone should show up with Kalidas.
Yeah, that's next level. You win the finals versus Dredge.
Mm-hmm.
He's got you there.
I can't argue with that logic.
The reason
And
Kalidas
then
was good
when your
was
Dredge opponent's like, why'd you bring in Kalidas? You'll be like, well, Dredge isn't good.
because you could Kalidas Slaughter Pact in matchups, but then like the format got too fast for it.
Yeah.
Because of Death Shadow. But now it's slow again.
4-drops are playable.
I just play Siege Rhinos.
Yeah. Man.
Make Siege Rhino great again.
Yeah. I would love to see Siege Rhino great again. I miss that card.
I think that card is maybe playable in Modern. I can't tell. The problem is I think about the 4-drops in Modern and I'm like, oh, wait. Bloodbraid is legal
wait.
again.
Yeah.
Jace, Divine Sculptor is legal again.
Yeah.
You know, like at that, before that, were there playable 4-drops? I guess Scapeshift is a playable 4-drop.
Does that count?
It was like Cryptic Command, maybe.
Yeah, that's pretty borderline.
Yeah. It was before, yeah.
It's still like playable, I guess. There's like some blue-white decks on the outside, actually, like 11th place at this playing, or have this Modern
Supreme
GP.
Verdict cost 4.
Yeah. Maybe that's the 4-drop deck of Modern. Plays Cryptic, Jace, Supreme Verdict, and always in 11th place. The story, the blue-white control story.
Why doesn't it just Bant control? Play some birds and some hierarchs so that you can cast your 4-drops.
Nightfall was also playing Jace. It was playing Jace.
The classic mana dorks into board wipe strategy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The fourth place deck at this GP was like Nightfall playing like Jace Collected Company Cord. Yeah.
Yeah, let me pull that one up here right quick. Whoa.
That's another thing you and Pete were talking about, is that these Nightfall decks should just play Jace instead of Collected Company, because then you can,
Just play 4 Jace.
yeah, it like does a similar thing, but it also allows you to play non-creature cards.
Correct. Then you can get away with playing Mana Leak if you wanted to actually, you know, like if you, it's already playing 2 Jace and Mind Sculptor. If you cut 4 Collected Company, you know, you could play 3 Jace if you wanted. Probably 4, but
Maybe you're still not adding that many
you
non-creatures.
leave some. You could cut some other things and maybe make some room for like, who knows, like Unified Wills or Mana Leaks.
Yeah, but like,
But
how many
this is
creatures
a-
can you cut and still be a cord deck?
Yeah, like this is a combo deck. Like
I'm
it's
aware.
you have your retreat combo. You also have the devoted druid and vizier combo.
I'm
with
aware.
Walking Ballista.
Yeah, have you seen right at the top there, the Fate Seal combo?
Yeah. No, I just you know, turn 3 Jaces with a bunch of Mana Dorks, like
Yeah, it
lets
seems good.
you set up and get, like, the thing is these decks always play like a lot of silver bullets, right? Like it's playing like a Kasali Pride Mage, like Reflector Mages, Spell Quellers, like those are good in some matchups and bad in others. And in the matchups where you can't just combo safely, which is actually a lot of matches you can't just combo safely in Modern, this lets you kind of shuffle away with, you know, Jace, like Brainstorm plus fetch lands and set up your hand. It obviously doesn't let you find the combo as fast as Collected Company, so that's probably why, right? Like you just can't, oops, I won on turn 3. But I think it probably gives you some resiliency that these decks don't have.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think so.
It's interesting. Like, it's an interesting deck. I think this deck has been and is like borderline very good.
So, what do we think about Modern then? Have we seen enough tournaments to decide whether a Jason Bloodbraid has messed things up yet, or are we still too early to tell?
Still too early to tell.
Yeah, I think so.
I don't know. The format's still like Wild West. Like,
Yeah.
We're seeing these unexpected decks showing up, and we're also seeing Jason Bloodbraid continue to be added to decks they weren't in the previous weekend. So, like, people are still in the process of what can we put this in?
Mm-hmm.
yeah, people are still adding Jace to their like Scapeshift deck, right?
Yeah.
Like people are just still testing the waters, and like it's always 2 Jaces. Like I'm waiting for it to be like 3 or 4. You know, like
How long is it going to be till everyone just realizes that I should just play 4 Jaces?
who knows?
It could be a long time.
Stay tuned.
Find out 9 months from now when the modern metagame looks the exact same.
So, what would you guys play at Modern tomorrow at the Wizards Tower Modern Open Qualifier?
Oh yeah, we're recording late this week.
Yeah, it's
because I was
Friday.
all jet lagged and got back late
Yeah.
from China.
It is Friday today.
I am going to go play tomorrow.
I'm thinking about it. I might go play too.
Well, I'm borrowing Pete's deck, so you're going to have to find something else.
I mean, yeah, I have like 4 modern decks.
Yeah, I don't know. You've just been playing Pete's deck recently.
I really like that black green deck.
Yeah, so I'm playing that, like Black Green Rock.
That deck is so much fun. Field of Ruin is awesome. Helps you beat Tron. Are you playing?
No, I have to.
Man, I should
I have
just play
stuff.
Tron.
I have stuff to do.
I don't know what I'll play. I might just play Grixis Control, to be honest. Maybe I'll play John. Who knows? Maybe I'll play Blue Moon. That's a deck I can get behind.
Ugh.
Did Dylan bring my Blood Moons back while I was gone and he visited while I wasn't here?
He had a bunch of cards with him. I don't think he left any behind.
I lent him my Blood Moons like a year ago, and he's visited like 3 times, and he just always forgets to bring my Blood Moons back. And I'm pissed because I lent him a foil Modern Masters 2017 Blood Moon, a dark Blood Moon, a white border Blood Moon.
Yeah, he lent him like 3 different versions.
Yeah, they're all mismatched Blood Moons, and I like it because if I ever play the second copy out, I want it to be extra tilting for like many opponents when they just get like, or they like thought sees me and I just show a hand of like 3 Blood Moons with all different art. Like, here you go, bud. Yeah, I want my Blood Moons back, but Blue Moon's sweet. That deck, I can get behind that deck. Just like turn 1 Bolt something, turn 2 Mana League something, turn 3 Blood Moon. Yeah. That's
Magic as it was intended.
yeah, and game. Yeah, I'm about that. I think that's sweet. I don't know. There's lots of like cool decks to play. I would just honestly play whatever. Like, I remember one of the last like qualifiers I played in. It was a while ago, but like modern metagame was like Desha, random stuff. I just went and played like Kiki Chord. I just like easily won the whole thing. Like, there was like 30 people there all playing like meta decks. I was just like playing this dumb Kiki Chord list with like a bunch of random stuff in it. I just smashed and I was like, wow, this deck's nuts. But like really it's just because modern.
Yeah, Modern is modern.
You can play whatever you want. Like I was just goofing around with like Resto Angels and having fun. But you know, like yeah, I crushed. Although if you're playing a green deck, you should play Eternal Witness in Modern. I will say that. No matter what, if I'm playing a green deck, I'm playing Eternal Witness in my list.
Why is that?
That card's busted.
Okay, but why?
Because there are a few kind of like adages about Modern that sideboard cards are extremely impactful, right?
Yes.
And so being able to rebuy your sideboard cards in Modern is like a huge, huge benefit. Like let's say you have a sideboard card like, I don't know.
Collective
why.
Brutality against Burn.
Yeah, and being able to E-wit it back is like massive if you're playing the green black rock deck, right? And your opening hand is just like garbage, but it has Collective Brutality E-wit. It's keepable. It's nuts because you know you take something, you kill their Goblin Guide, then the next turn you play a blocker and get back your Collective Brutality, gain life, and do it all over again, right? Like you dump your whole hand.
Yeah, people complain that modern sideboards are too small for the diversity of the meta, and that you would need like, because people who see a card, you need like 2 of it in your sideboard, but there isn't room. But Ewit is just whatever sideboard card you board in, it's more of it.
Yeah, if you draw it like in the first place, that's part of it. Also, like not even just sideboarding, like in game ones, certain cards matter so much more and they're so much more impactful in certain matchups than any other card. So, for example, I was playing against like a blue-white control deck, playing when I was playing the green-black rock deck. And Field of Ruin was just so essential for me to deal with colonnades to be able to protect my Lilianas. Because I had Liliana and like one or two the Last Hope as well, main, which rebought creatures, which with Ewit is like just foul. Because you just have an infinite loop of them, right? Like as much as you have mana, you just keep playing them. And so like being able to rebuy Field of Ruin to take out all the colonnades and just kind of know like he can't kill me, as long as I can answer the kind of major threats, like he can't kill me and I can rebuy things I need to. I can minus his Last Hope to get the Ewit and do it again. It was just like, it's very powerful. So like even in game ones, that matters a lot. You get to just rebuy the card that has the most impact. Also like the decks that probably play Ewit aren't concerned that it's a 3-drop 2/1. Like they're not really concerned about its cost, about it being slow, because the decks that play Ewit are already well positioned to grind. They're already playing Fatal Push, Thoughtseize Inquisition, or like Path to Exile, or some answer, or they're playing Mana Dorks with it, like Nightfall deck, right? Like rebuying, like you have to play him in the Nightfall deck, in my opinion, because like he's playing 1 because you can chord for it, right? Like, but if you hit it off a Collected Company, you should instantly rebuy your Collected Company. So like that's a huge, I think like any green deck, basically a modern, is positioned enough that it costing 3 isn't a big deal because you'll have the velocity or the ability to slow down your opponent enough that it's just generates such a massive advantage as green Snapcaster Mage, but lets you rebuy like the insanely impactful cards in modern. Like again, Field of Ruin versus Tron, or like whatever. Like there's a million things. Like you board it in, I don't know, you're playing Ponza and your Blood Moon gets Thoughtseized or killed, right? You can Ewit it back.
Yeah.
So also like hitting it off a Bloodbraid Elf. Like if I was playing Jund, I'd be playing Ewit. Because hitting Ewit off a Bloodbraid Elf feels like cheating.
True.
Right? Like that's gotta feel the best. Like it's 3 cards.
Yeah, it seems okay.
Right? Like that's like
everyone was freaking out about like, oh, you could Bloodbraid into Kolaghan's Command. Like Ewit's gotta be the same, if not a close second.
Right. Well, no, I'm going to Bloodbraid into Ewit, get back my Kolaghan's Command, which then when you kill my Ewit, I'll Kolaghan's Command it back and like get your draw step.
Yep.
Right? Like that's the grind.
So much value.
Yeah, it's just a good card. Like, that's why I think about modern.
All right.
Play some Ewits. Eternal Witness. Yeah, good card. Underplayed in modern, actually. Like you see a lot of like the green blacklist cutting it, which is just like
craziness.
I don't buy it, man.
Cut lands first.
Yeah, get these hissing quagmires out of here. No, I'm just kidding. That card's great. But so I don't know. Like I don't know what I'll play tomorrow. If I play it, I probably will. My sleep schedule's fixed again now, so from jet lag and travel. I don't know. What would you play? You're not playing, but you're just gonna play Tron.
I play Tron. Yeah. Obviously. Come on, man.
I mean.
Come on.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Jund is playable again.
There are times like over the kind of like history of this podcast where I'd be like, what are you going to play in modern? And you're like, I don't know, because like Tron's not really well positioned right now. I don't know. Like maybe I'll play this, or like I'll try this weird mix of Tron, like green black Tron with Collective Brutality's main, because like I'm getting punished over here, Now you're just like, whatever. I'll just play Tron.
Mono green Tron, best Tron. Black cards in the sideboard though. That's the key.
Really?
Yeah.
Like what? Collective Brutality?
Collective Brutality, Thoughtseize, Fatal Push.
The best cards in modern?
Yeah.
Putting Force of Wills in the sideboard.
All right. Let's wrap up this modern talk. Cam, you want to take away our topic for this week?
Oh, wait. Hold on. I just wanted to say shout outs to one of our listeners. I don't know if he listens to every episode, but Benoit, local Burn player, but who during Standard only played Yisan the Wanderer Bard in Standard as much as he could. It's his favorite card. And Zan Saeed, one of the Star City grinders at this GP, was playing it in his humans list. He top 32'd, playing a 1 of Yisan. I think that's hilarious. Like that card top 32 to GP in the year of our Lord 2018.
Okay. Well said. All right, moving on.
Yeah. So this is kind of like it's similar to topics we've talked about before, but in light of the fact that we're kind of coming up on a spoiler season, combined with the fact that Adam and I skillfully qualified for an RPTQ, we want to talk about how to analyze like new cards, spoiled cards, or a new set in context of the fact that they'll be added to a standard. So I think the last time we talked about this, standard was rotating. And so it was, how do you analyze this new format?
Like full rotation.
Right, full rotation. And when that happened, there was a lot of talk about like which cards were suppressed by cards that will be leaving, which are now more powerful relatively, which that isn't really a concern here. Like any card that's being kept out of the format by something, that thing will still be there. It's still going to be kept out of the format. So there's sort of a different way that we have to look at these cards now. And yeah, Adam and I are going to want to be preparing for this tournament, for this new standard tournament. So what are some of the things we'll be doing? How are we going to test for these? How are we going to look at the new cards, etc.?
Yeah, and like assess them, like for unified standard, but just standard broadly.
Yeah.
The kind of Dominaria set and how it's going to change things.
Because even, like it's unified standard, but you should still test your unified deck against actual standard decks, because it could happen that the team just went all in on like their middle person and you're playing against an actual standard deck. So
yeah, that could definitely happen. And like it's just practice to kind of know what is capable of in the format, like what you could potentially play against. Like there's a million reasons, just test everything.
mm-hmm.
So, but this is a weird set because it's like, it's not always the case that there's new mechanics that are going to be very difficult to evaluate. Like the scripture thing. Is that what it's called?
The sagas.
Sagas.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like those are going to be very difficult to.
Yeah. The sagas are going to be hard to analyze.
And just like a lot of the legendary matters cards, like.
That too. Like some of these legendaries look very strong, and there's a lot of legendaries that are very good, but like it's kind of hard to tell immediately how often they'll die, like how important they actually will be, which impacts how many of these can I play. Like how consistent is a deck that's playing like 4 sets of 3 ofs of the same legendary? Like is that reasonable? Is that not? Is that so?
Right. So like this is an odd set in that sense. Like I think that you basically have to just put all the mechanics, new mechanics into random decks just to see what they play like, to test their power level and everything. So
just put everything through the ringer.
Yeah, it's going to be a long, kind of arduous process. And I think this has to happen. And you have to combine it with like all iterations of existing decks too. That's the other thing, right?
Yeah.
So that's one of the things, like you mentioned, that when all these new cards come into an existing standard format, you also have to like address what are the current like color dominance and like how other colors will stack up to them, right?
Mm-hmm. So like, yeah, this is sort of a mistake. This is something you, I think, should do when standard simply grows and should not do when it rotates. This was like a fallacy that a lot of, like as soon as Bant Company rotated, people still tried to play Bant decks. They were putting in, what's her name? The Moonkin. The one that helped lock Emrakul in the moon.
Tamio.
Oh, yeah. And just trying to play like Reflector Mage. Like,
right. They're just like, oh, Bant will still, like, Bant was good, Bant will be good. But it's like, no, like, it's rotated. However, in this case, like, standard is pretty clearly dominated by Grixis colors. All the most powerful cards in the format are in Grixis colors, showing up in decks. Nothing's leaving. Like, Grixis cards will still be that powerful.
You mean Scarab God?
Scarab God has red. Vraska's Contempt.
Yeah. Blue, black, and red are
Torrential Gearhulk.
very powerful.
Green and white are like unplayable at the moment, probably.
No, I wouldn't say they're unplayable.
All right, they're not literally banned.
I don't think they're the best, but like they're not the best colors in the format, but they're not unplayable.
Green is playable. White is not.
Yeah. White is like a minimal support color, maybe.
Unless it's a Fumigate, Settle the Wreckage, Approach of the Second Sun.
Yeah, haven't you seen that mono white approach deck?
That's like the only. But like white is so like.
You know what? 501 Moto League.
And like that, like, yeah, that's like the only
options
white
in
deck.
white are just so limited because like they just don't have the consistent power, and green doesn't really either. A lot of it comes down to, and it has always historically actually in standard, and what you should be looking for is 2-drops.
Yes.
They're always the defining power of a color. Look at the 2-drops in red, green, and black. Or sorry, red Grixis colors, right? they're the best ones.
Yeah.
Like the 2 draw card guys in black, like Glint Sleeve Siphoner and
Dusk Legion Zealot.
the one that we were right about, by the way, that we said decks should just be playing both of. The 2 drops are like snowbally and powerful, or create an advantage. Like Harness Lightning, Heart of Kirin, like in aggro decks. They're all so powerful. I'm trying to think in blue, like
Blue 2 drops. Just Essence Scatter to fight against these powerful cards.
yeah, like just like the 2 drop matters. The 2 drop spot matters so much. Like when you talk about the Bant Company days, right? It's like, why was it so dominant? One of the huge reasons was Sylvan Advocate.
Mm-hmm.
Man, that card was good.
Yeah, just having consistent, rewarding 2 drops in standard. Like the Grixis mid-range deck or Grixis control, whatever you want to call it. It's just like a mid-range deck. It doesn't even consider playing 1 drops. Like there's not a consideration at all. Like it's,
The only 1 drop you play is Fatal Push.
yeah,
That's it.
but like rarely casting it on 1, right? Like
Yeah.
that's what I mean. Like
Yeah.
and you're also still contending with Fatal Push being in the format when this comes in. So yeah, you'd have to look for like consistent, powerful removal plus like
Well, actually, a lot more of the Grixis decks these days are playing 4 Magma Sprays now.
yeah,
Yeah.
still Grixis.
Yeah.
Although Merfolk Branchwalker is like one of the ones that people are trying, like and hoping, I think, to make green like have a 2 drop that is both good early and okay late, and that's really what these 2 drops all kind of are, right? Like Sylvan Advocate on turn 6 was nuts. It was
Yeah.
a 2 mana 4 or 5.
Yeah.
Right. Glint Sleeve Siphoner is fine on turn 8 because it could be extra cards.
Mm-hmm.
Same with Dusk Legion Zealot. Harness Lightning, just terminate basically, just kill whatever at any point in the game. Like these 2 drops, like Essence Scatter, just can always leave up 2 mana to do something. Like having good 2 drops in your colors is, in my opinion, one of the defining features of Standard. So currently, right, the problem for green and white is that they don't have consistent, powerful 2 drops that are good early and good late.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Branchwalker is probably the best in those colors.
Yeah.
And
I mean, it sees play.
that,
like
it sees some play. Yeah, that card's very good. It's just those decks don't like. You're seeing the only like really green deck I think that's competitive is this like Adonis Climb Sultai deck.
Yeah.
Because it has black answers.
yeah,
It has
exactly.
black and blue cards.
Yeah, like
There you go.
it's you need 2 drops so that your like early game isn't super weak, and then you need answers to the high end threats. And the only good answers to Rekindling Phoenix, Hazoret, Scarab God are in black
Right.
and or blue. You have to counter them or exile them with Vraska's Contempt. Like you have no other
Rekindling
option.
Phoenix, Hazoret, Scarab God, these are Grixis
And they're
cards.
Grixis cards,
like,
yes.
Yeah, so this is just the problem with the format right now, I
Right.
guess, is the colors are not balanced.
Yeah. So moving into Dominaria, looking at this, to start considering playing other colors like green or white, they're going to need to implement like some good 2 drops. There's also going to need to be answers, like exile answers in these colors. And then there's going to need to be sort of a high-end threat that can compete with Scarab God and Hazoret. Like the Baneslayer Angel is maybe a contender. Still, he's mussing over Seal Away here, which is also very good at answering Hazoret.
It's a 2 drop and an efficient answer.
Yeah, that card's very good.
Yes.
That card is like phenomenal.
So there are...
The removal in this set
Yes.
appears to be great because with Cast Down or whatever as well.
So they spoiled a black removal spell. It costs 1 and a black, cast down, just an instant destroy target non-legendary creature.
That card nuts.
It is very good.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, so we're going to need to see these things out of other colors for them to sort of have a chance. And then another point I wanted to bring up is that even if we see very powerful cards printed in white and green, it will take medium power level cards to allow the Grixis colors to keep up with these. Like the fact that this black removal spell exists could be enough to like, because the Grix, like the blue black decks and the Grixis decks are already strong enough that they don't need much of an edge to stay ahead of even very good green and white cards in the new set.
Mm-hmm.
Although the return of Land of War Elves is a huge, because that's one of those cards.
Yes. That's like a very, very powerful green
That
card.
changes a lot.
Yeah, it's a scary one.
Yeah. 4 Fatal Push.
It's the type of thing you need to bring these cards up to,
Yeah,
like to bring those colors up to.
It's a scary card, man.
Compete.
I'm stoked. I'm gonna play that card a lot.
it's a scary card. Right? It's like it is just a terrifying card. Like mana acceleration on turn 1 is scary. It lets you do messed up things if the support's there for it.
Do you think people will people are definitely going to try. Like right next to this on the spoiler page here is Steel Leaf Champion, which is just a green for a 5/4. Which is a pretty good rate.
Well, it can't be blocked by
Creatures with 2 or power with 2 or less.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
What's your Dusk Legion Zealot or your Glint Sleeve going to do?
Yeah, exactly.
Take 5, that's what.
And people are going to think like, oh, Llanowar Elves is back, like mono green Stompy. But why not just cast Scarabot on turn 4?
In your bug deck?
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Like I was thinking about bug decks, like putting Vraska on top as like another way to like, kind of go over the top. But there wasn't really any other green cards I wanted to add to blue-black. Llanowar Elves.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Llanowar Elves traditionally not great in mid-range decks, though.
But
good in Stompy, though.
It's good in Stompy, but like the Scarab God decks are already so mana hungry because you want to cast Scarab God and then start activating it.
Yeah.
It can be brought back as a 4/4.
Ooh, all right.
Come on.
All right, I'm sold. Never mind. I take it back. But yeah, so like even this though is something that like you have to be careful about. Like I just made the mistake of like, no, traditionally like they don't play it in mid range. That's a really dumb line of thinking.
Yeah.
Like, that I just did, like me saying that.
We've yelled at our friends of ours before when we like tried something. We made some change to the Teamer deck when it was very powerful, and they kept saying like, "Oh, I would never play a Teamer deck without this card," or like, "I don't know why you want it." Like traditionally, they don't.
You were
play
just
this.
wrong. You were cutting Rogue Refiner. That card got banned.
Right.
You were wrong.
We
Admit it.
ended up wrong.
You were
we
wrong
weren't
the
we
entire
didn't.
time.
Okay, we ended up wrong.
No,
but
we ended up
didn't-
playing a split.
We didn't assume we were wrong. That's the point we're making. Is that like don't like just because something was done traditionally, like don't assume. Unless you're thinking of playing like 61 cards, like you can probably rule that out. But
like we still wanted to try it. Like we
Right,
just did
we
it
tried
in
it.
testing. Because I was testing for nationals. Yeah.
and because of it, we had a deeper understanding of why Rogue Refiner got banned than anybody else.
But yeah, I mean, well, ended up also playing the best deck in the room with tokens anyway. But yeah, so like that's a mistake people will make as well. Like no, like Llanowar Elves belongs in like this kind of tribal like elf deck or like green stompy or ramp or whatever, and it's like, well, no, like it may actually have a room in this particular format in a mid-range deck. Like so it's important to kind of assess like how those things like can change your perceptions of mid-range decks. So that's another way like moving forward, I guess, like from our preparing for like a new format, the things we're gonna have to do. I have to play so much damn Magic.
Yeah. That is actually
like,
the
I
most
wanna,
important
like-
thing. It's just play a lot.
Like the other thing is like I haven't been playing a ton lately because I've been busy and like traveling and whatever. But I've been keeping up. Like I watch all the coverage and I still like check the meta and like I feel like I'm still playing, but I like physically haven't been playing. And I talked about this before when I traveled to that RPTQ and I hadn't played in like 4 months and I just like physically was bad at playing, which is such a weird thing to think about. So I think it's kind of cool. It's a team event because like I don't want to let people down, so I'm gonna actually like test a lot and play a ton, so I like feel comfortable. But I mean, that's really another thing you have to do is just play like an obnoxious amount of games with new cards and
Yeah.
get real bored of it. And like play pre-releases. Like I know it's sealed, but like you need to know what every card does.
Yeah, you need to be familiar with every card and you need to have in the back of your mind how every card interacts with every other card.
Like think about, do you remember when Oketra's Monument in that set and somebody was like, there's no good artifacts in this. It was Jay White. He's like, there's no good artifacts in this. This isn't an artifact set, right? Like this split card that can like destroy an artifact. I shouldn't play it, right? I'm like, no, there's no good artifacts. And then like look over next round and he's just getting smashed and sealed by an Oketra's Monument, like just crumpled. And I'm like, oh, no, whatever. It's just some like janky limited card that like sucks. It's not even that good. Like,
Or I think we said like, oh yeah, like it's one card, it's one good artifact in the set and it's only good in limited.
yeah, and it's only good in limited, basically. We're like, yeah, that's fine. Like, it's just good in limited, whatever. Like, it's not a big deal. And then it turns out it's like the cornerstone for an entire standard deck that basically was the breakout deck of the Star City Games Invitational and smashed and then became like the mono white vampires deck. Like, that card is the backbone of like so many decks. And it took people, 4 months?
Quite a while.
3 months, I guess, from like release to the Star City Invitational would have been about 2.5, 3 months. That's a long time.
Yeah, it took a little bit.
That's a long time in the like lifespan of a standard format for something to take that amount of time to evolve or to be discovered. So, like, it's important to not go like, oh, it's just a janky limited card. Like, I know we always make
we
a
joke,
joke.
we mock that.
We like mock
oh, this
it all
card's
the time.
nuts and limited. Like maybe I should build a standard deck around it.
But like, this is a case where like when you're testing, like we're gonna actually have to bite
Yeah.
the bullet and be like, ah, crap. Like
Like that reasoning that like, oh, this is really good in limited. Maybe we should build a standard deck around it is like kind of wrong in the middle to end of a format. But right at the beginning, try it.
Yeah. I wish we would have. Monument decks are nuts. That card's still probably sweet.
I doubt it.
Nah, there's too many braids. Never mind.
Yeah. Because it broke
And
out.
it requires
broke
you to
out
play
right before
blue.
a braid got printed.
Blue and white.
Yeah. It only discounts white cards, and there's no good white cards.
Except vampires.
And they already cost 1 white anyway.
Yeah. Right.
I'm most excited for the enemy lands that are coming in the set.
Yeah, that's sweet.
Enemy checklines.
Can't wait.
Because then we
love
get the
that.
full spectrum.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Woodland Cemetery, Clifftop.
Man, it's gonna
those
be so
things.
good.
Yeah. Well, good mana and standard always leads to a very powerful standard format.
That's actually really
I think
nice.
we're moving to it's funny because they said they were shifting down power, but I don't think so. I think we talked about this actually on the podcast that the bannings were actually a result of an imbalance in power just in the spectrum of the format. That and it's still a problem that 5 to 10 cards are so busted and everything else is trash and they're just filler.
Yeah. And it's not that they should depower standard, it's that they should make every other card able to compete with those.
Right. So you just can play whatever you want in standard.
Yeah.
That's probably a healthier format. And it looks like they're actually moving to that, which is look at all these powerful answers, but we also have Llanowar Elves and all these powerful things. Okay, fine. Now you're saying I might have an answer to Scarab God across multiple colors. Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Actually, they made Modern strictly more powerful by unbanning 2 nuts cards. It's still fine.
And it's
Yeah. People are still doing whatever.
8 different decks in the top 8.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Hopefully this is the case with Dominaria. It looks like it might be. I think the reprinting of Llanowar Elves is dangerous, and I know some people hate it because they think it's always an unhealthy card.
There's formats where I could
But
see
I
it
think it's
being
fine.
considered dangerous, but coming out of this format, it's no, green needed something.
Yeah, the standard needs something. And for years, standard was fine and Llanowar Elves was legal for 10 years and it was never a problem really, so should be fine. I think it'll be good.
Yeah. I remember back when I started playing, the ramp decks didn't even play 1 mana dorks. It played 1 Birds of Paradise, and then your ramp spells was Rampant Growth.
Well, that card nuts.
Yeah.
Probably shouldn't reprint that one.
Well, we already have it.
Yeah, Thunderherd Migration.
Oh yeah.
With Llanowar Elves?
RG Dinos get you.
Yeah, maybe there's an actual Dino Ramp deck.
Here we go.
Man, there's dinos in this new set.
I know.
Is there actually?
Yeah.
There's at least one that's been spoiled so far.
Let's go.
What's it do?
It's not good, I don't think. Let me find it.
Oh no.
It's green.
All right. We found the green cards.
Elf.
There's a lot of elves. Man, my favorite card that I
Dino,
saw
here we go.
is
4
the
mana,
fungus.
5/5. Kicker for 3. When it enters the battlefield, if it's kicked, it fights another creature.
That's not as good as the 4 mana.
That's a limited
5/6
That's
flyer.
a limited bomb, though.
Yes.
Holy
Oh, yeah.
Christ! There are some limited bombs in this set, though. More importantly, there's a rare fungus.
Lots of stats, though. 4 mana, 5/5. What do we want?
What do we want?
More stats.
4 mana, 5/6 flyers. That's what we want. That blue card's nuts.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, what's its name? Sahid Dijon of the Lamp. Jin of the Lamp. That's how you pronounce it, right?
Yeah.
Jin. Yeah, sure.
6 mana, 5/6
Dijon.
flyer. But you could pay 4 mana and tap an untapped artifact rather than paying its cost.
And it's only single blue +3. Yeah. Artifacts and mana reduction. That's what I'm saying. That's the case to a healthy standard format. That's the path to a healthy standard format where there's never been bannings or problems where you give blue cards, busted stuff, artifacts, and mana reduction.
I mean, it's
what
been a
could
problem in the
possibly
past,
go
but
wrong?
blue isn't even one of the strong colors right now.
Yeah, it is. Grixis, we just
No, I know. I was being sarcastic.
Oh.
You're going on your sarcastic ramp.
No, it's that serious. What could go wrong?
Yeah. I mean, here's what could go wrong. It's a djinn, and genies are never honest. It will mess you up in some way.
And there's
You're
a
gonna
4
cast it,
mana
this is too good to
colorless.
be true.
There's a 4 mana colorless planeswalker that makes a 1/1 artifact if you want. What could go wrong? Just put
Or
it
as you were saying, this is, there's no reason to test. Ignore this entire episode. Turn 3, Whirler Virtuoso. End of turn, make a Thopter. Cast a 5/6.
Yeah, that's what I was saying before we started recording.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know, maybe it's too much work. You have to get some artifacts. And then I was like, wait a minute, Whirler Virtuoso's still legal and probably still going to be
Artifacts are
nuts.
free with one of the best cards in the format.
Yeah, exactly. So you're saying that I can just play a turn 4 5/6 flyer?
Yeah.
That seems really powerful.
It's like, how often does a Hazoret actually attack on turn 5? Like, not that often. Like, if you keep 7, not that often.
Hazoret can't attack through this guy.
Can
Yeah.
attack through this, and this attacks earlier than Hazoret.
Yeah.
In the air.
Yeah, a 4 mana 5/6 flyer is pretty pushed. If
It's a
you know,
legendary.
if you
Still
don't,
really
you
good.
just also draw Whirler Virtuoso, then you're good.
Yeah.
I don't know. The potential like pretty high, but like it could suck too. Who knows? We'll find out. But
It's a new card. It sucks at the moment.
correct. That's also an important thing to remember. As always, new cards suck.
All right, let's wrap this up.
It does not play very well with Scarab God because it only comes back as like a smaller creature. So,
Yeah, get it out.
All right, thank you all for joining the club this week. Make sure, as always, you check out wizardtower.com for all your Magic single needs, for shipping on singles here in Canada, great events at their store here in Ottawa, and great content online at mtgcanada.com and their site, wizardtower.com. However, you listen to this podcast, whether it's on Podbean, iTunes, your podcast app, leave us a review, share it with your friends. Word of mouth is the best way to keep this podcast growing. And if you want to get in contact with us, you can find us on Facebook, the Disorganized Wizard Club Podcast, or you can find us on Twitter at DWC Podcast 1. Shoot us a message if there's anything you ever want to chat about, some topic you want us to go in a little more depth about. We're always happy to hear from listeners.
Yeah, get messages all the time. Get hype all the time.
All right, we'll see you all next week.
see ya.